Okay, happy first day without Mr. R. Video notes. Here we go. All right, we are going to be talking about West African culture and daily life, which is chapter 5, section 1 in your textbook. You can divide the notes up on your paper like this if you choose to do so. Some of my students don't like dividing their notes up or Cornell note style. I will leave it up to you, but it's just an option to make life easier for you, so that's why I'm putting it here. You can have it in the village life section, trade, regional commerce, and of course oral traditions. And so that's how what we're going to talk about today, and the information for that from your book. So West Africa, basically loyalties is to the village and to the family. There is going to be a kinship, which is basically cousins, brothers, sisters, a family connection that will start first. And then before that, you have ancestral, but basically that will develop before we have governments. And then once the group gets too big, it will turn into clans, which are basically larger kinship groups, which today would probably be your second cousins, third cousins, people you don't see often or farther from your immediate family. So West Africa is not too much different from us. They start off with basically daily life, working with their family members, and then those family members are going to get even bigger into clans until eventually they will form a government that we will get to later on in the following slides. Basically, in Africa, certain people focus on certain type of work. You have farmers, you have herders, you have some metal workers, you have people who do art, but basically they are basic specialized jobs. You're not having anybody like in China making boats. You're not having anybody doing any type of magnetic compass or technology. It's pretty basic because Africa is pretty basic. As you guys have read in your book or seen, or you will do for a map probably today, which is there's a lot of desert, there's a lot of jungle land, so it's not like you can do technology or internet stuff that we have here. There's a diverse economy in West Africa. More than one type of product is being made and also traded. They're going to start trading in West Africa. They will also start trading in South Africa in a place known as Zimbabwe. And I will show you a map of how they trade on the next slide. As you can see here, you have the Sahara Desert, and you see that trade is going to be taking place all throughout the western side as well as northern part of Africa. Now, the reason why we're going to start trade from the north is because, as you learned in 6th grade, cities will develop because of water. That is a natural resource that you need in order for a city to develop. And you're going to see that products from the west are going to send to the north gold, slaves, ivory, and cattle hides. The north will send salt, cloth, and metal goods. So basically what you're going to have is trade that's going to be developed and expanded, and you're going to have kings that are going to have little cities, little regions, and power. Now, these people we're probably going to get more into in the next video. These Berbers is what they like to be known as, not Beavers, Berbers. Berbers are basically traders that will be using, well, let's see here if you can figure it out. What type of animal do you think can walk across the desert with carrying lots of these goods and don't need water? Hopefully you came up with camels. And so Berbers are going to basically raise, train, and have camels to start this trade network. Now, this is basically the Africans' version of the Silk Road. And lots of goods are going to be coming from the north as well as the west and basically the south. So basically, trading will start here in this area for this chapter. The last thing we're going to talk about is griots. So basically, in West Africa and pretty much all of Africa, there weren't schools of thought like China. There wasn't really a language. There wasn't really books for them to use and develop in their early history. So in order for them to tell history about their life or their family, they would use these men known as griots, who are storytellers. And basically what they would do is they would sing, a lot of times, a story of something that happened in the past. But this is basically how history is going to be passed down from generation to generation. They are going to sing as well as tell stories of legends of thoughts. You probably have heard these same stories, like such as Greek mythology. Maybe there was. I always tell students the best time that we do storytelling is when you're camping at night and you're telling I don't know, an evil story about something that happened in the forest or Halloween. And so griots are basically these same type of storytellers that are passing down history from generation to generation through word of mouth. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, are they a primary resource or are they a secondary resource? This is where it gets a little bit tricky to see, well, how accurate is their story that they're telling about the history of Africa, specifically West Africa. So this will be your first video for Lesson 1, and the next video I will send to you tomorrow.